We stand firm, calling to Allah all the time. We let them know, bang, bang, cause it's Dawah time. There will always be those who seek to extinguish the light of Allah with their mouth. But Allah tells us that He refuses to let His light be extinguished by them. And they hate that. They really hate that. Nice day for a walk, huh?
I need your dope, your coffee, and your miswak. Now.
Oh, did you forget to say please, huh?
I've come to terminate your belief in the unseen. You come from unconsciousness, and now you return to unconsciousness.
Wait. That's bottle, bro! That don't make any sense! Look, on a serious note, get down, come with me, if you want to believe. All praise and thanks belongs to Allah. May peace and blessings be upon the Prophet Muhammad. How are you guys doing? Now, the Terminator said you came from unconsciousness, now you return to unconsciousness. And I have a problem with that because consciousness is one of the proofs of Allah's existence. And I'm going to show that to you, right? But before I do, let's define what consciousness means. Consciousness is awareness, is perception. The ability to experience, to have thoughts, dreams, ambitions, feelings. That's consciousness, okay? And I'm going to show you in a second that consciousness is actually a way to affirm and prove that your master, my master, the only one worthy to be worshipped, exists in truth, right? And hopefully, if you're sincere, you're going to accept what it is that I have to say. First and foremost, can we agree that consciousness exists? Yeah, we can. Because you're having a real life conscious experience by watching me right now. In fact, one of the most basic and necessary truths that you know is that your consciousness exists. If you doubt your consciousness, you're there to doubt it. So you being there is proof that your consciousness, you doubting is proof that your consciousness exists in the first place. Okay, so if it exists, where on earth did it come from? Well, in order to discuss that, we need to establish the nature of consciousness. Is consciousness something that's material or immaterial? The reason I'm saying this is because from an atheistic, naturalistic worldview, they believe that everything can be explained through the natural world. Everything, when you break it down, essentially, it can be broken down to protons, electrons, and neutrons. In other words, it's just matter. Everything can be explained materialistically. Everything ultimately is down to matter, natural. That's the way it is. But if consciousness doesn't fit into the definition of something that's material, then guess what? The natural world can't provide an explanation. So, what is it? Well, let me ask you, can you lick consciousness? Can you touch it? Can you taste it? Can you see it? Can you to verify that consciousness exists, can you do any of those things that to verify its existence that you can do to things that are from the naturalistic world? No, you can't. You can only experience it, and its experience is personal, it's subjective, it's not measurable, right? Even, for example, if you was to, plug probes into my brain and get me to eat a strawberry, yeah, you may be able to see on the screen that, I'm experiencing something sweet. There's a relationship between the immaterial and the material. I'm not denying that. But you'll never be able to tell me, you'll never be able to affirm or measure how sweetness feels to me. You give me and my friend a strawberry each, the way that we experience the strawberry is totally different. You and another person, if you're ill, you have the same illness, same disease, same medical treatment, but you recover differently based on your conscious experience. One has a positive experience, he recovers faster. One has a negative experience, he recovers slower. And there are many researches and studies that have been done to show this, and you can do your own research in that regard. So, consciousness can't be material because it can't be measured, and it's personal, it's subjective. There's no way to measure it. So if that's the case, then we have to ask ourselves, okay, can something immaterial come out of something material? Well, again, that's preposterous, because can something come out of nothing? No. Because nothing and something are two opposite states, right? The same way, I can't be present and absent at the exact same time. I can't be all powerful and all weak at the exact same time. The two are total opposites, polar opposites. The same way to say that consciousness, which is immaterial, can have come from something that is material, they're two total opposite states. One couldn't give rise to the other. It's just like saying that nothing, which is nothing, can produce something. Let me give you a tangible example to really drive the point home. Can a lion give birth to a vending machine? Can a lion give birth to a rat? No, of course not. But did you know that there are more similarities between the lion, the rat, and the vending machine? There are more similarities between these three than there is similarities between the material world and the immaterial world. For example, the lion, the vending machine, and the rat, they're all material at the end of the day. They still can't produce one another, they still can't cause and affect one another, but they are all three material. Yet consciousness and the material world, the natural world, they're both polar opposites. So before you say that something immaterial can come from something material, affirm that a lion can give birth to a rat or a vending machine. But you won't do that for obvious reasons. It's more preposterous for you to say the other thing, okay? That materialism could have given rise to consciousness. If that's the case, then that means that the natural world fails. That means the atheistic worldview, your view that everything can be explained naturalistically, it fails. It fails to explain the most basic thing, the absolute most basic thing about me and you, our personal conscious experience. So then where on earth did it come from? Well, if you can't provide a naturalistic explanation, and it's not like science is one day going to tell us there's a naturalistic explanation, because that would be science of the gaps. We've already established that science is a way to measure and find out and discover things about the natural world. It's not a discussion about the natural world. It's a totally different topic. Science, it descopes it. So we have to refer to a supernatural explanation. And this is why Islam makes sense of consciousness. In fact, Allah tells us in the Quran, I gave you intellects, I gave you ability to think, I gave you cognitive faculties, I gave you consciousness, I gave you a soul, I gave you the ability to ponder, to reflect, to experience, to have feelings. Several numerous verses that explain this to us. And Allah tells us, but even though I've done that, you'll find many of them are ungrateful. Many of them, they know I gave it to them, but they'll still deny me. They'll still turn away from me. And what's amazing is that Allah says in the 51st chapter of the Quran, وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ, that you want evidences, you want signs, you want miracles. It's inside of you. Some of my most blatant signs are inside you. You're a walking, talking miracle yourself. So how are you going to reject Allah? So I would request you, please, come back to Allah. Affirm Him as the one true God and worship Him. Affirm, if He created you, He owns you. He gave you consciousness, He owns your consciousness. He owns you. And He wants you to have a relationship with Him. Single Him in worship. Worship Him alone. Don't worship this world. If you turn away from this reminder, then know that Allah said in chapter 20 of the Quran, the one who turns away from my signs, he will live a depressed life. Yeah. That's why if you look at the Scandinavian countries and countries like Japan, which have the highest atheist rates, they also have the highest suicide rates. Because they're not happy with life. And we find the suicide rate is increasing every year. The same way secularism and atheism and liberalism is increasing. People are just not happy. They want to kill themselves. What can I say? Anyways, and that's in this life. And in the next life, the punishment is even more painful. But come to Islam, experience Allah, and you will live ecstasy in this life and the next. I leave you there. Let's return back to the Terminator. Peace.
Yo, you're right, mate. You're looking a little bit rusty. I can get you some paracetamol if you need, you know. Nah, you're gone, bro. Hasta la vista, baby.
يريدون ليطفئوا نور الله بأفواههم والله متم نوره ولو كره الكافرون. Atheism, you've been terminated. And I'll be back, inshallah.
We really hope that you enjoyed this educational and informative film. If you would like for us to produce more productions of this level, then please support us with your donations at the link below. The more you give, the more we're able to produce. Finally, please make your way to MuslimSurvivalGuide.com. This is a website and a program that we've put online where you can learn the absolute basics and necessary things about Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.